And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Joe Jones with 504 Black Television Network, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'd like to take a moment to wish everyone an early and a very happy new year for 2013. Now, it's clear to me, and I believe it's clear to a lot of other individuals, that the new year coming up, 2013, will be a very challenging year for many individuals. In fact, I think it's going to be a year where people are going to be defined in serious categories that are going to impact them, I believe, for the rest of their days on this earth. There are some major changes coming about in the thinking, the mindset, and the actions of governments that are truly more invasive, more controlling, and more domineering over the populace that they reign over. And I use the term reign over because there is, I believe, a misdefinition, or at least the understanding of the word democracy has truly been altered. And even though we are in the quote-unquote land of the free and home of the brave, I think the more and more you think about that statement and the more and more you look at what's really taking place in the day-to-day of every citizen's activity going through their life, it's starting to become harder to really believe and understand and contemplate and actually embrace this home of the free and of the brave. I mean, you look around and you see your privacy has basically been shattered. There is no more privacy in the United States of America. And quite frankly, there really has not been true privacy in the United States of America basically since its inception, because of the ability of the government to time to time decide that for security reasons or national security reasons, they need information. So your information, whether you give permission or not, is used and utilized for those purposes. You know, it was interesting the other evening. You know, I was online and I forget exactly just what particular product I was interested in or service I was interested in acquiring. And in part of the process to register for that service, they wanted to identify who I was, or to make sure, validate that I was who I said I was. And it was just a simple question that they asked, and I believe the question had to do with what was the last four numbers of your social security number? And I went ahead and I put the last four numbers of my social security number in, and it was absolutely positively incredible, the series of questions that came up to validate who I was. There was information in there that just seemed to be You know, just why would that even be cataloged? Why would that even be in an information file? But in any event, it was things of the nature of what was the color of a vehicle I purchased some years ago, or what was the address of a particular uh, locale, municipality, or city that I lived in. And what was so interesting about this, the answers to these, first of all, the questions were about items of information that were like way back in my history. It wasn't current information, which leads me to believe that this information has been being cataloged. Uh, you know, God knows when. I mean, but certainly, you know, not within a recent time frame whatsoever. And it even went back to some boyhood stuff, which that's the part that really kind of made me just sit back and look at this stuff and think about what was really going on for that information to be documented at the time when I'm just I'm just a kid. But then that brought the cold stark realization to me that that's part of what the system has been designed to do and has been doing, whether permission was given or not by the individuals. So we are basically at the mercy of the powers that be that control this information. There's no way to delete this information. There's no way to keep this information from being used for nefarious purposes if the government or particular segments of the government decide they want to do it, or rogue elements of the government decide that they want to use this information for nefarious reasons. And I don't particularly think I'm a high priority profile individual. So if that's taking place with me, then I'm quite sure, I'm convinced that it's happening and it is an ongoing thing for individuals that are in even higher profile situations, sensitive situations, or situations that may compromise individuals or even communities. Their safety. First of all, that's their safety. Number one, their privacy, and just their day-to-day activities. So 2013 is a pivotal year. We're going to see things happening and changing at such a pace, at such just a frantic pace. It's going to be mind-boggling. And the issues that are dividing us, once we understand that these issues are really not what the focus of these powers that be are really concerned about. They're a nice smokescreen. They're a nice front to be able to dolly out and wheel out certain positions and statements and plans. But in the end, all that is just a whole lot of fluff. It's about the agenda of the powers that be. It's about what is to be the end result of the plan, this design that is actually being forced, ramrodded down the throats of each and every American. And many of which do not have a clue that's taking place. So, going back to that word democracy, we are not in a democracy. I mean, we like to say we're in a democracy, home of the free, home of the brave. We like to think we have individual independencies and choices, but we are really and seriously held in an information grip that, in this commentator's opinion, is irrevocable. In other words, I don't think, even with major revolution, and in whatever format you would even picture or imagine that revolution in, that's going to change. I can't even fathom a military revolution. I mean, I just the way that system is designed and the powers that be has it situated. I mean, you talk about the militia, you talking about the NRA, Second Amendment rights. Well, let me tell you something. There just would not stand any semblance of a chance of that overcoming what has been established now in these United States of America. What is designed is too entrenched, it's too complex, it's multi-layered, it's so well conceived, well cloaked, and ready at a moment's notice to implement many multiple phases of operation that any type of military revolt or military takeover, and I'm talking about military revolt, military action from the populace, it just wouldn't work. The days of thinking of the Minutemen and the heroism of the many citizens of the original 13 colonies and their stalwartness to